Okay guys, part two of how to do the dovetail. So I previously cut the dovetail, and what I just did off camera, I marked the thickness of this piece of timber around there. Hopefully you can see that. Use my sharp pencil and the tri-square. Now we're going to put this piece is the pins. We're going to put that in the vise. Make sure your pencil is sharp for this one. So I'll do it this way, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to sit the dovetail on top. I'm looking here to where the shoulders, so this shoulder meets up with this edge, and I'm lining up the width. So I'm looking straight down on top so I can see where that sits, and then with your pencil, without moving anything, trace your dovetail. Now, to prevent me getting this back to front later, I'm going to put a little mark on here and here, so I remember which way around this goes, because if I do it that way, it may not quite fit. Now, with any luck, your marking gauges that you set before will match these lines that you just marked out. If not, you need to adjust your marking gauge. So I've got a 7mm one now. I'm going to scratch that down to meet my line just there. I'll do the same over here. That one needs some adjustment. So you can adjust a marking gauge by tapping. Okay, that matches my line. And scratch down till I meet that line. And pick up the other marking gauge. Yep, that looks good. And scratch that down to meet that line. That one's spot on as well. So remember, if the marking gauge doesn't meet up with the line that you just drew on the top, these lines, adjust your marking gauge. I'll trace with a pencil so I can see my lines. All right, this time we cut out this inside section. That's our waist. Tenon saw first, and again make sure you cut on the waist side of the line, and in fact this time try and leave just a fraction of timber between the line and your saw cut. I've actually got to hold the saw on a slight angle. And you need to check often. If it looks like the saw is starting to cut in a direction you don't want it to go, you need to adjust before you cut too deep. Right. I'm going to stop there. I'm at the line. I'll do this cut. What you may not see me doing on the camera is I'm leaning over and checking. I can very easily see the cut on this side, but I can't see that unless I lean over and timber. We'll stop there. You can see my cuts. And I don't know whether you can see that on the screen. I should be just next to my line. There's a fraction of timber left. Yeah, that side of my line. Use the bench hook now. sit that on the bench hook. All right, remember we're cutting away the middle of this. So what I need to do, you know the chisel, it's got the flat side and the side with the bevel that's been sharpened into it. We want the flat side against the line, so I'm going to place that right on the line. The bevel side is facing the waist. And tap. Hopefully you can notice I'm just tapping. I don't need to hit it, I just tap. Rolled over. This one's a wider cut, so a wider chisel will be better for this one. Same thing. The flat edge of the chisel is on the pencil line. And tap. So I do have to move the chisel slightly sideways so I cover the whole line. So that creates the edge. Now we need to start chiseling. I've got a cut here that I did with the chisel. I may just go a little bit more on that one. It could probably go a fraction deeper. All right, now I'm going to chisel out the waist. So you may not see it in the video, but I am chiseling about 1/2 mil deep. Any more than that and I'll likely ruin things. Just tap it in. That piece should break out. If it doesn't break out easily, you need to get the chisel and cut the fibres, cut the grain down again. So as each piece comes out, I'm just going to tap the chisel down a little bit further. Now go another 1/2 mil, tap it in, break that piece out. So cut down again. Always making sure the back, the flat of the chisel is up against the line. Don't let it creep away from the line. I'm going to keep doing this until I'm about halfway down. As we get a bit deeper, you can probably start hitting the chisel a little bit harder. You can probably start taking a slightly thicker cut. Alright, I'm about halfway through. I'll flip this over. Same again. Your first cut should be really thin. And remember, if it won't break out easily, cut down again. It's no use trying to crack it out or break it out. So that one's not breaking out easy because I need to cut a bit deeper on this one. Alright, we've cut that out. Now notice, where am I? Notice I cut in deep here. It's like there's a valley inside there. But fortunately you won't actually see any of that. That'll be hidden inside the joint. as long as we get this shoulder here and this shoulder here nice and flat and accurate, your joint will be fine. Now these edges here are going to need some paring with the chisel, so I'm going to do that now and then start testing that it fits. So we're just shaving ever so carefully. We're running down with the grain this time, so there's a chance, if you're not careful, that it digs too deep. Remember, when you're paring, you're taking the finest cut you can, really thin shavings. I'm not using the mallet. Now, there's a bit of off-cut stuck in the corner, so I can just shave that off with a small chisel. Shave that away. There's no point in rushing this. That looks like it's going to go close to fitting on that side. I'll flip this over. I'll run this cut. A bit of off-cut that's the shavings that's stuck in there. We use the other chisel to shave that out ever so carefully. We'll test it for fit. Ooh, it actually fits. Looks like I got it first go. Not too bad for a quick one. A little bit of a gap here. Unfortunately, I've gone a bit wide out there. There's a bit of a gap here, which means these corners in here, you can see it, there's still a bit of stuff in the corners. I just need to shave that out, and that will fit down in there so much better. Anyway, there's our dovetail, single dovetail.